2, action.
Hi guys, thanks for being here.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thank you. So if you could start, you could just say your names, ages, where you're from, and what you do.
You can go first.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Giselle Clemson. I am 35. I just turned 35. Name, age. I'm originally from North Alabama. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. I am an entrepreneur and I am a coach, creator, and consultant.
Okay. And so me, I gotta do my intro, I actually run a radio show. I have my own radio show. I'm also a music artist, producer, and music engineer as well. So yo, this your boy Awesome as Jayell, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse. So I go by JL and
Okay.
I'm 38 years old. And yeah, that's a little bit of my occupations, but I'm a serial entrepreneur as well.
Love it.
And
Love
where
it.
you
How did
from?
Oh
y'all meet?
yeah, and I'm from Atlanta.
Okay. Okay. We get some Atlanta here. You know, everybody's always not actually from here. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
actually
yeah.
getting a little bit of Atlanta on the set. So how did y'all meet? And y'all can tell me individually.
Oh man, this is crazy. Crazy story.
You can go
You
first.
want me to go first? Okay, so initially, right, the first time we actually met on MySpace back in the day.
Throw it back.
So I was an up and coming music artist, right? So now I'm actually a music artist, a professional. But back then I was looking for a PR. So I was roaming MySpace. I'm like, man, I gotta find me a PR, man, because I don't want to do all this email, text, and stuff, right? And so I ran into her, and we started DMing back and forth. And next thing you know, like we started talking on the phone, right? And the whole PR thing kind of went out the window, right? And so we started talking, and I think we talked almost a year. We talked just on the phone. So
Wow.
yeah, so we spent a lot of time just getting to know each other through conversation only. I thought she was attractive from the pictures, that I've seen already, and she thought the same of me. But we're more like the sapiosexual type. So we're more gravitated to like minds, you know what I mean? And really indulge in like a lot like mental stimulation. So we had been conversating for about a year, and then it just got to a head, and she was like, when you gonna come see me, And I was like, you know what, I could probably catch a Greyhound or something, you know what I mean, because she was living in Alabama. She was going to Alabama University at
University,
the
yeah.
time. And so I was like, let me see what this Greyhound talking about, you know what I mean. So I looked it up, and I was like, oh man, it's only like a couple $100. Okay, I'm coming tomorrow. And she was like, what, you coming? And so, long story short, we actually met up in Alabama, had a lot of fun, right? And then eventually I went back home. And then we actually dated for a little while, and then we ended up breaking apart. We ended up separating. But it wasn't like a bad blood separation, right? But because we were both, like I said, we're serial entrepreneurs. At the time, I was on tour with my past band that I was a part of. I was on tour. She was on 106 in Park and traveling to New York and doing things as well. So it kind of broke apart naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna do the whole story, but I'm gonna let him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so into it. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, and that was then. So that was I used the mark 10 years, but it's been longer than 10 years. But anyway, 10 years ago, I was at Bama. I went to University of Alabama, Roll Tide, and I met him. And then he came to Bama. I was in college, and he was, like you said, a touring artist.
Yeah.
And so we split apart. And then anyway, 10 years later, from that timeline, it was my birthday, Leo season, and I was living downtown, and I got on Tinder. And I was like, okay, it's my birthday. Like, let me get on Tinder. Okay, I got on Tinder, and then I saw him, and I was like,
Oh my god.
he looking cute. Like I did a little Google search, I saw his music videos and stuff. I was like, he doing his thing, he looking cute. And so we literally swiped each other, and then when we swiped each other, we linked up around my birthday, and we've been together ever since.
Oh my
And
god.
that was
Yeah.
like 2017.
Wait,
Yeah.
okay, so sorry if I missed this. How long was that after the MySpace situation?
10 years.
Like 10 years.
So I was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
19 when we first dated. I was like 19. He was 21. Then I was 28. Well, 27, turning 28
Okay.
Yeah.
when we reconnected
I
on
love
Tinder.
that.
So we met first on MySpace. 10 years later, met on Tinder.
Look, the internet is with it. Okay? The internet
For real.
is with it.
For me, I learned about myself, what I liked and what I didn't like. So I know, I'm gonna say, in the culture, in the world, people often focus on what they don't want, what they don't like Chief Keef. That's what I don't like. But I personally never focused on that. I always focused on what I do want, and I am a big manifester energy. So I had really was very intentional about like, okay, I want this. I even made it clear. I was like, I want a millennial. I want someone who likes music. I want to be like a friend. I don't want to like be with someone I'm disconnected from or with for survival. I'm gonna use that word, survival. I want to be happy and in love. And so I was very intentional about the what I desired, and I think through that manifestation, it just kind of came attracted to me naturally. So being intentional.
I love that answer.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, similar to her, I learned about myself. One big lesson I learned is to trust my intuition, trust my instinct. That's part of the reason why we linked back up, how we got back together, right? And I told her this story, right? It's so crazy. It's kind of like a miracle story. But I had seen something on TV, and they were saying that the person that you end up being with 9 times out of 10 is somebody that you've probably been with before, right? So when I seen that, I started scrolling through my phone, looking at all my ex-girlfriends. I'm like, hold on, which one of these can I see myself with, right? And I ended up going one girl, and then she popped up, and I was looking at her Facebook. I was like, I can see that. And then I literally went to sleep. And then next thing you know, a couple years later, it came back around.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. And do you remember, can y'all tell me about like that first date, how it was when y'all reconnected? Was it like, because I feel like, was it be familiar? It was like, dang, I ain't seen you like a decade. Like, what was that feeling like?
Oh, I want to share. So
Yeah.
it was like I said, it was my birthday weekend. We planned to meet at Atlantic Station, and I was actually shopping. So I was like at Old Navy, but we
Yeah.
hadn't seen each other for a while. And when I saw him, I was a little like, whoo, like hold up, because he used to be kind of slender fit, like slim. And when I reconnected, I was like, oh, you done grew up. So you a man now. You kind of got some, And of course, I was like, I guess I don't know. He could tell you that, but I was taken aback because I didn't realize how much we had grown since we last saw each other. Because we were really kids. Like I was on the dance team at Bama, so we were headed to New York for 106 in Park. He was traveling as a music artist, so we were just in our fullness as artists and like really following our dreams.
He was like, how old? Like 19,
Yeah,
20?
like teenagers.
Like, he was very young.
And so for us to be in our late 20s and reconnect, it was like, we done grew up. And even now, we look at each other sometimes like, we're growing up.
Yeah.
So it's weird, but
Phases.
it is.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, it is. Okay,
Like the
what's the
first
question
date.
again?
The
first
what was the
date.
question?
Yeah, what was that first date like?
Okay, so the first date, I had a similar thought process. I was just thinking like, man, this is crazy. I have not seen her in so many years. And one of the first things that stood out to me was I would, like I said, that sapiosexual thing, the mental connection is very important for us. And, as we sat down to eat, I was just listening. I was like, man, you're so smart. You're so intelligent. And I got my famous quote. I said, you a wife.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? And I had to break it down and explain it to her.
Okay, what was that breakdown?
It was just really the way she carries herself, right? And I call it the goddess. I call it the goddess gene, right? And the goddess is strong, but at the same time, she's feminine, right? And so you could feel her aura, right? And so that's the way I will explain it. That's it right there. You don't meet too many women who revel in their divine feminine.
I love that. I love that. And you two just seem so connected. I don't know if you remember this. The first time I met y'all were together and y'all were like, this is life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That creative.
Yeah.
Very, very cute. So talk to me about like how your career and your passions play a part in your relationship, and how do you work to, maybe be in your passion, but also make sure you keep that separate.
It's so funny. I'll start this off. I'm not sure. We're very spiritual. First of all, we're very spiritual. I'm not sure if you heard of what a twin flame is, right? Twin flame is like it's pretty much like you're equal, but she's a female and I'm a male, right? So with that being said, like it's such a magical journey, right? Because it's like I can do something to advance in my side of career, and then it awakens something in her to advance in her side of the career. And we eventually, and what happens is we're looking at this like bigger scope of what we're doing, right? And we're both progressing towards kind of the same similar field, right? And I'm like, hold on, we got so much in common, right? You know, she's a writer, I'm a music artist, right? That's like the underlining passions that brought us into the forefront of the serial entrepreneurship that we do now, right? And it just keeps growing and it keeps going, right? And expansion is it just never stops. It's abundance. That's what it is, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I would the same. Like, it's passion, but that's important to us. And I think every relationship is different. So this is not a cookie cutter. But for us, like, we were already in our purpose before we met. And so we knew our purpose, our personal mission, here on the planet, like what we should be doing with our time, energy, and frequency. And so when we got together and it aligned, it's just very passionate, like a lot of fire. I'm a fire sign, you are too. But it's just a lot of fire, a lot of like passion, and it's coming from inside of us. It's not externally motivated. So like we don't have to go to the club or go for the holidays. Like we don't seek outside as stimulation because we're very stimulated from within. So I think it makes a really spicy relationship.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of, how do y'all keep it spicy?
Honestly, I feel like it's always spicy, but you use the word keep. Oh, we do date nights
Okay.
every week.
Every
Every week.
every week.
Week, because life is life. So you can get routine if you're doing, work, this, working out, this, that, going to Costco, clean, all of that, because you got to do your life. So I would say date night.
Date night.
Yeah.
Traveling,
Okay.
date night.
Yeah.
We have, I think those are like the top two, but definitely date night.
Okay.
That's a
That's a staple.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, y'all seem so in sync, and I love to see it. I want to know, because sometimes that means that you guys have worked through things too. You know, have there ever been? Tell me about like maybe a challenge or some adversity that you had to get through together, and what you learned from it.
Okay, I'll answer this one. I think one adversity one adversity that we overcome is that we like, okay, like I said, we talk, we're very spiritual, right? So you got the divine masculine, you got the divine feminine, right? I feel like one thing we overcome is coming together in the center, right? To where the masculine embraces his feminine and the feminine embraces her masculine, right? And I'll actually use an example. When we first got together, I used to be so in the masculine side. I used to just want to work 24/7, right? But when you get married to a woman that revels in her femininity, that's not gonna work. That doesn't cut it. You can't do that, right? That's a cop out. Like you can't say, "Oh man, I'm gonna work 24/7," right? So what I had to learn how to do is I had to learn how to embrace my feminine, and I had to learn how to start going on vacations, start going on trips, start taking time off, start being very indulged in self-care and self-love and loving myself more than just working. Because I mean, we could all work, right? We could love the work that we do, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you love yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. I like that.
And I'll say for me, just to echo what he said, for the women. Because I come from a very girly girl world, like Barbie world, okay? Giselle world. Like it was just all me, imagination, and with my girls, and top down having fun. Like I did not know.
We're connected.
We are. And I don't want to, like, girls, ain't nothing wrong with that, girlfriend. Do you have fun, live your life? But when you decide to get married or even be in a relationship with a man, if you're in a relationship with a man, you have to create space for the masculine energy that he will carry and be in 100% of the time. So then that requires for the girl to, of course, I romanticize my life, but he kind of grounds me in some spaces.
Okay.
Because I definitely, like I said, just living in a little Barbie world. And so when you're in relationship with a man, it helps you balance that feminine energy out. Because for me, I was just way on the feminine side. Like, my girls, girl power, friend, girls, girlfriend, like, girls everywhere. And then I realized, okay, I want to get married. Okay, I'm with my husband. Where my girls at? You know, like like it's different, and you have to adjust to create a space, like I said, for the masculine, so that y'all can be together, and then not you like girls. Not I ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't do girls' night nowadays. Sometimes, right? But you know, girls be living for their girls, and when you grow up, you have to be mature in your time and energy, and decide what your priorities are. So for me, my priority is my family, which is me and him. You know, our pets. And so then you have to just balance that out instead of just thinking that everything revolves around you and all your feminine social activities. Like you have to find balance. So
Let me ask you, do you feel like your friendship and maybe some of your relationship with like family or any of that, do y'all feel like what role does it play in your relationship and did it alter the relationship at all?
I'll definitely say I'll speak on this one. I definitely say, of course, we still enjoy family. We love to be around family. But I will say there is a like harsh line in the sand. And the reason being because our lifestyle, the lifestyle we chose, unfortunately, is different, or fortunately, is different from our family. We're serial entrepreneurs, so we can't really get in the typical cycle of clocking out to work and then going to chill with the family for the weekend, right? We still going. We still, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't take our breaks the same time they take their breaks, right? So that circadian rhythm is not there. You know what I mean? And so once we realized that, it just brought us closer together. And we allot time to spend with family, but it's very strict because family, they want to throw a cookout every week. They got a birthday every other day. It's just so much going on with family. It's like you have to delegate your time wisely
Yeah.
because you will get carried away and you'll wake up. You'll be like, man, what happened?
right,
What happened? We lost everything because we was
exactly.
chilling, kicking it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I know we're getting down to the last few minutes, so I wanna end with this. When did you know that it was love in real life? When did you know that this is special? This is something that this is gonna lead to marriage? Was it a moment? Was it an experience? Talk to me about that.
I'll go first. So for me, I'm gonna be honest, because I'm an honest woman. For me, like I said, I was very focused on my career and like creating my dream life very intentionally. And I never really dated seriously, honestly, until me and him got together. So that's another plus that we have. Like we didn't have like children prior to coming together. We didn't have like very serious relationships for 7, 8 years. None of that. Like we were each other's like first loves or first serious relationships as adults. But for me, oh, like I'm gonna tell him,
Yeah, it's a
I wanted to like have his baby, and I first, I've never thought that of like ever, and I was just like, I am ready to have your kid. Like, I don't release the job, like release everything. I don't care about none of that. I just want to be I just want to be with you. And when I felt that, and it was an internal thing, like I also didn't ask anybody any questions. So as girls, you know how you'll ask your friends, what you think about him? What should I do? Of course, I had friends who were there to support some of my, like as I grew. But as far as like, should I be with him? I didn't ask anybody anything. And so that's when I knew like he was the one for me. And like I said, he unlocked my mother energy because I was like, I want to have his baby. But I have never felt that way about anybody. So that's when I was like, okay, he must be the one for me. It was very internal, okay?
Yeah, I get that. And what about you?
I would say honestly that first date, the first date when we kind of got back together, you know what I mean? When I said she was a wife, and I had a long time to really think about that, right? And I had to think to myself, okay, so why would I say she's a wife? Because, you know, she asked me from time to time, what made you say that? It's because she's my wife. You know what I mean? It wasn't because she's just a wife for anybody else, for me. So that's the reason why I said that, right? And so once I said that out loud, I kind of manifested it, that she was the one for me. Because before that, I wasn't looking for a wife. I'm a Virgo, so I'm an earth sign. So I'm very grounded and I'm very natural and organic. So I'm not even the type of guy that would be like, oh man, I'm in here looking for a wife tonight. Like that ain't even my vibes. Like I don't even vibe like that. So for the simple fact that it came to me, that's how I knew that was it. You know what I mean?
I love y'all are so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so
You're
much. I love your
welcome.
story.
Yeah,
You're
you're welcome.
welcome.